Good afternoon, I'm Karen Holmes Ward, and welcome to Cityline. As we celebrate Mom this Mother's Day, a new study suggests that a perfect storm is brewing for working women, perhaps the start of a burnout epidemic. 53% of women reported stress levels higher than they were a year ago as mental health declined and work-life balance became nearly non-existent. Let's meet our guests. Leading a life in balance, Joan Wallace Benjamin has led several prominent institutions and held high-profile positions in the public sector. In addition to her 38-year career, and Leslie Ford, founder of Mom's Hierarchy of Needs. It's an effort to help working mothers feel stronger, healthier, and happier. Thank you both for joining us today. So you have taken different paths to achieve balance. Joan, is it achievable?
Yes, I think it's achievable. In fact, I wrote the book, interestingly enough, pre-pandemic. So I really relied on the many 37 years of work experience prior to the pandemic to talk about how, as a professional woman, I was able to juggle family and juggle my career. I do think the post-pandemic book is being written right now, and maybe I'll take a crack at that. But right now, my perspective has really been a historic one. As a baby boomer, the first generation of women who were able to kick through the doors of professions, medical school, law school, Wall Street, and hold serious leadership positions where we had to continue to work and raise our families.
Leslie, how did you come up with the framework for recognizing and achieving balance?
Well, I think balance is a tricky word. The framework is really how do you make some space for self-care and professional growth after having kids. And balance, a lot of us at least were we had this fantasy of have it all, right? You remember when there was the have it all discussion? And I don't think it's have it all, but I do believe that you can put time for yourself into every day, that you can care for your mental, physical, and emotional health, and you can do so in a way that actually fuels and improves your career, fuels and improves your relationships at home, and even fuels and improves how you parent.
And balance can be different things to different people.
That's right.
Right? There's not one equation.
That's right. Well, I've been asked throughout my career, can women, by younger women, can women have it all? And I think, yes, women can have it all. They just cannot have it all at the same time.
Now, Joan, you talk in your book about putting family first and how being family focused can actually make you a better leader.
It absolutely does. I quote a Congolese saying that a single bracelet does not jingle. And I think that if you make your family your top priority, it does not distract from leadership. It fuels your leadership by giving you the emotional support and fortitude you need. It makes you a more compassionate leader to the people that work for you, because they understand, in fact, that you have placed your family at the front of your priority list, and they should do too. So I think you need to have the balance of both your family life and your career. And I think people who make a choice one over the other, particularly on the side of the career, do confront some challenges.
And of course, the pandemic has upended all that. We were talking in the green room about this, Leslie. Many parents talked about their experience, and you surveyed them. What were some of the findings that you came up with about how the pandemic just made everything topsy-turvy?
Absolutely. Well, self-care was the first thing to go, right? Perhaps not surprisingly. Schools closed, childcare became unavailable for a lot of people, and people really wanted to lean into their professional roles. They wanted to hold on to their health care and their financial stability. So all of those health habits that really help people be more resilient through these times, like movement and meditation and relaxation and unwinding with friends, all of that went away, and it still hasn't come back in my study in a meaningful way. 75% of the mothers who are surveyed say they're doing terribly or not as well as usual at self-care. But I think on a positive note, people have much more clarity about what's important for their well-being. And when asked, what do you need to be happy, productive, or healthy, the top three answers our childcare flexibility at work and access to more paid time off.
Nearly half of your respondents said that they are less committed to their jobs now than they were before the pandemic. What does that statistic tell you?
Well, I think this is the priority shift, right? Like, if you're facing life or death decisions as a family, as an individual, and kind of rolling through, we have had a lot of macro level changes during this pandemic, and people are really re-examining what's important. What habits do I want to keep? What type of rules do I want to follow? They don't want to follow the same rules anymore. They don't want to stay at the office when it's not necessary to be at the office.
Sure.
They don't want to respond to that email at 10 o'clock at night when they're exhausted. So,
Well, I have to ask you, because we were in the green room talking about this. You have young kids. How did you make it through?
it's been, well, I will say I've been very, very fortunate. I have had childcare through a lot of the pandemic. I have been very creative. There were times between Play-Doh, Legos, and screen time where I was juggling meetings from the playground, taking calls while I'm like in a car. There are suboptimal moments, but really being able to support my kids, being able to grow my business and support clients, they're all high priority to me. So
You got to get it all done. Trying to get it all done.
moms are time-bending magicians.
That's right. That's right. Busy people get things done, as they say, and mom's certainly at the top of that list. Joan, you're a corporate coach. What are some of the women that you're coaching saying as they come out of the pandemic and take a new look at their previous work habits?
Right. Well, I mean, they are the group that have the kids at home. I've done a lot of the coaching on Zoom, and we have some of the kids that are home firebombing across the Zoom screen. So I think women are really challenged about how to manage their kids at home while they were also at home working. School's back in session now, or back in person, and so I think it'll be interesting to see the level of relief that mothers might feel now that their kids, they're still home perhaps because their workplaces and physically open, but they're able to do their work at home without kind of the interruptions of having your kids there with you. So that has been something they have struggled with. And then the big question of, well, do I have to go back into the office or don't I? And the employer is offering that as an option. But you say to yourself, well, should I take that option? Will that make me less attractive to my employer? Will that affect my performance on the job? You just don't know. Now, the interesting thing is men are asking the same question too. So I have two adult sons that are at work and that vacillate between working at home and going physically into an office, and they ask some of the same questions. So I think there's going to be an equal opportunity here because men and women are going to confront these same issues as the workplace reopens and work habits change, generally speaking. So,
Okay, for everybody.
for everybody.
Joan and Leslie, you're going to stick with us for another segment. We'll be right back with more on striking a balance between work and family when Cityline continues.